Am I sitting here?
Yeah. All right, welcome to the our first episode of Let's Teach Stuff. We are Integrator Incorporated, and today I am going to be teaching about the Bernie Madoff scandal.
I have no idea what it is, neither does Logan.
A week ago, Bilal knew nothing about the Bernie Madoff scandal, and now he's going to attempt to teach it to us. So.
Yeah, and a lot of research and hard work have gone into this, so stick to the end. Let's begin. So, brief overview of who the heck was Bernie Madoff, right?
Sounds like a really old guy.
Fun fact, he died in 2021, as a matter of fact, in April. But, however, his scheme goes before that. So, who was he? He was a fraudster. He was a fraudster who pulled off the biggest Ponzi scheme in American history. That's his company right there, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities.
Oh, so, that's his company name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, he started it with like $5,000 he made as a lifeguard in 1960. So he had an investment brokerage. He was also the chairman of NASDAQ. He helped form the basic market as we know it. And he had a killer reputation. Like, a lot of people invested in him. A lot of people trusted him with their money.
How did he get that good reputation?
Like any fraudster, like in Wall Street, he made it seem like his investors were making a lot of money, but in reality they weren't.
So he generated the reputation off the Ponzi scheme?
Yes. With the investments they were making, he was taking what like brokers make as like a commission. So that's like how they make it from their investors' side.
Okay.
So, tell me we're filming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Continue. We're good. We're cut.
Nobody had any idea that he was running a Ponzi scheme until, I will get to that. He was seemingly, to like the outside world, he was very successful and he could like make them a lot of money. So much so that some of them even invested their life savings.
That's pretty risky. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, that's a big loss, I think, for
So in December 2008, Bernie Madoff gets arrested. And the sad thing is, before December 2008, nobody had any idea he was running a Ponzi scheme. I mean, his statements, his advisory, everything looked authentic. Like, he executed this all so flawlessly.
So how long did it take him to get caught?
17 years.
So he's been doing this for 17 years?
He ran his Ponzi scheme for a period of 17 years.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy thing. His sons were the one that turned him in. He had two sons, Andrew and Mark Madoff. And he told them that, I gotta tell this to you guys, and he told them that it was just one big lie, everything. It was just one big Ponzi scheme. He told them just to give them a little bit more, like give him a week before he turned himself in.
Yeah.
Like, so he can get his affairs in order, he can set them up, make sure they're all looked after. But immediately after that, they went to the police. The SEC got informed, the FBI, everything. So, yeah.
Wow.
Later, he is charged with securities fraud, and they agreed to let him go on a $10 million bail.
You click the arrow.
I did.
Oh, the down arrow? There.
It's just slow. Okay, so in June of 2009, Bernie Madoff is sentenced to 150 years in prison.
Yeah, this guy is not gonna live through that long.
Yeah, he was, I think, 71 or 72 years old when he was sentenced to prison.
So
Actually, hang on. He died in 2021. He was sentenced in 2009. But anyway,
he's on his way out.
He's on his way. His statements were so well done, and like they were fake, but they were like made it seem so real that no one knows the exact value of his Ponzi scheme for sure. But they think that it was worth $64.8 billion. So that's how much money he took from his investors.
That's a crazy amount of money.
That's a lot.
In the time since he was in prison, a lot of what happened to his family is messed up, but I'll get to that in another second. But going through his Ponzi scheme in general, the way a Ponzi scheme works is like almost like a pyramid. Like Bernie Madoff, he's the top of the pyramid because he's the one taking all the money. So he would lure investors in by promising like you know, a great deal of profit, like if they invested in him, right?
Yeah.
So those investors would give him money, right? He would take a lot of that money for himself, and he would make it seem like they were making a lot of money, but then he would lure in new investors and say, hey, invest with me, I'll make you a lot of money. And he would give that money to his old investors to make it like, you know, to make it seem like they were making a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you'd almost call him a smart guy, because...
It's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was worth about $64.8 billion, the biggest Ponzi scheme on record. and it ruined so many people's lives. There are three biggest key players in Bernie Madoff's family. In this case, it's his wife to the far right, that's Ruth Madoff. Then there are his two sons, Andrew and Mark. Mark is the one right here, and Andrew is the one in the middle. So his sons are pretty important to the story because they're the ones who turned him in. When he told them about this Ponzi scheme, he told them just to give him a week before he would turn himself in. But then they immediately just went to the police because if they just let him keep going, then that would pretty much make them an accomplice, So they turned him in. However, this did not end well for them. His sons were scapegoated, and as people believe that they knew that he was committing this Ponzi scheme, even though they didn't know about it. Yeah, the sons really did pay for the sins of their father. Mark Madoff, he killed himself in his apartment on the 2-year anniversary of Bernie Madoff's arrest, mainly because the media, it demonized him, his family, it turned him into a scapegoat, even though he had no idea about it. So, it just got to his head and he just killed himself. His brother, Andrew, he had a cancer and he was able to beat it once, but because of all the stress and the pressure of knowing that this, his family name has become poison. I mean, not to seem not to, pardon my pun, but, he made off with all that money, so.
Good one. Nice
Thanks.
one.
So, the second.
Oh no.
Wow. Sorry. The second time the cancer came back, Andrew wasn't able to beat it, so he died in 2014. Ruth Madoff is the only living member on this screen.
So wait, so both the sons are dead?
Yeah, Mark killed himself and Andrew died from cancer.
Why did their father confess to them?
I guess mainly because I think it was because his brother told him to, so their uncle. Or I guess mainly because, he came to his senses. I'm not sure.
He came to his senses after making that much money. I don't think you can come to your senses after that. I don't know.
Either way, he did, so that's the only way, he told his sons, told everybody else.
Oh.
So, but Ruth Madoff, her life is, under surveillance, all the time now. Her life now is pretty sad. I'm pretty sure that if she even spends more than $100, she's required to send her receipt of what she bought to the authorities. That's their way of keeping her under surveillance. It's also part of her court deal. Bernie Madoff does have grandchildren, and especially Mark's children. His Mark's widow, she also said in an interview once that she hates Bernie Madoff, and she hates his guts. And if Bernie was sitting in front of her, she would spit on him. This is also a very important part of this story, is Bernie Madoff's victims. So he was well known and he had very, very, very famous investors, very wealthy people. This one is John Malkovich. He is a very well-known actor. You got Steven Spielberg here. He's a billionaire director who's basically in every movie. You got Kevin Bacon, who's just below Spielberg. He's also a pretty well-known actor. And then on the far right, you got Larry King. He recently passed away. In total, Bernie Madoff had about 37,000 victims, a total of $64.8 billion. And so far, according to the Wall Street Journal, as of April of 2021, about $14.1 billion have been returned to the investors. But however, none of them, not all of them are alive, because when they found out that they had lost their entire investment or sometimes their life savings to Bernie Madoff, they killed themselves. Quite many of them had shared the same fate as Mark Madoff, because they knew that it was going to be near impossible for them to get that money back.
Yeah, you go from living a lavish lifestyle to living on the street, so it makes sense.
Yeah, a couple of them slit their wrists, a couple jumped from rooftops. It was a sad ending, and what makes Madoff a sociopath here is that he had an interviewer come to him, visit him when he was in prison. He told her that it was he places the blame on his victims for trusting him with his money, It's sort of like, you know, that reverse psychology. I mean, the guy truly was a sociopath. That is the end of the presentation, so let's get to the quiz.
All right. Well done, Bilal.
Thank you.
So, let's get to the quiz.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Me too.
All right, so this is gonna work like 3 questions. Whoever gets the most out of them, they basically win, in a sense, I guess. So so Landon, you hit the couch if you know the answer first, and Logan, you hit the answer right here if you know the answer.
All right, as you wish.
Okay, describe in the most accurate and an accurate sense a Ponzi scheme.
All right, Landon got it.
All right, Landon.
It's in the shape of a pyramid. Is it that? That's what the slide showed.
It's a structure.
And then there's the top guy at the point who's the master, the brains, farms out to more investors. As more investors come in, their money goes to the older investors and so forth. And then eventually it goes up to the top. Everybody leaves. Right? Is that
Landon, you're half right. Let's see if Logan can explain it better.
So basically, you have the investors that whenever you first invest, they invest in the scheme, whatever he's
His
selling.
securities fund, yeah.
Yeah, his securities fund. So they invest in that, and then they say at a later time they'll get X amount of money out, or they'll get whatever return. Then their money is taken to be fed to the people that are the least recent, so the oldest people that gave their money at the beginning. And then those people, the money that they just invested is given to the oldest people. And then their money is all filtered from the newest people to the oldest people. And basically, it's just a scheme where they're just money funneling from the people that just gave the money to the people that gave their money longest ago.
Yeah, old investors.
That's exactly what I just said.
They just want to invest more so they can make more money.
The guy was out of the triangle.
They can leave or they can not leave.
So I was right.
Yeah,
Up
that's.
to them.
But you said they would leave, so.
But they probably
They
want to
could,
keep. They
yeah.
want to keep making money though.
Well, he did because he turned himself in. So whose point is that?
Well, no, I mean like the people that are the
That's
victims.
that's
the
like
victim was the
no, that's
Ponzi
that's
scheme.
Bernie Madoff's story. This is like a Ponzi scheme in general.
Oh.
Or the customers as they were.
Well, how
Wanna
did I
keep making money.
to know? Well,
You were supposed to pay attention.
who gets the point? Because it's optional if they leave or stay. So technically, I wasn't wrong.
You
I guess-
said they would just leave.
They could though.
You didn't say could. Okay,
Alright.
you guys can have a point. Whatever.
All right.
Okay, who is the only who's the only living member of the trio?
Wife,
What's her name?
Ruth.
Yeah, you got a point. Last but not least, I think you saw it on the postcard. This is the last point. Where was Bernie Madoff's company centered? And I think that's in this.
I'm gonna guess Wall Street.
Yeah. Where?
Oh
is
no way!
It's in New York.
Was it on
That's
the that little box thing at the beginning? Oh no!
Although, and this is a
Alright.
bonus point, he had a bonus office where.
You didn't go over
I think you guys may have seen it, but like this is a bonus point. It's fine if you don't get it.
Well, I think Landon already won because I have no idea.
I don't know.
You want to take a guess? I'll give you a hint. It's not in the United States.
Oh, it's not. Well,
Then I'm gonna guess South America.
No.
Okay.
what do we have to
The
guess?
city.
Like a city? A city?
Yeah, the
Oh,
city.
the city.
It's in Western Europe.
Western
Oh.
Europe?
You guys are thinking way too hard.
I think it's London.
It's London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's London.
Okay, well, alright, let's go. Alright.
Alright. Very well done,
everybody.
guys.
Thanks for watching Let's Teach Stuff. If you like the enjoy the episode, make sure to share with your friend.
If you really like it, subscribe.
And hit that like button. It really helps us out.
There we go. Alright, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.
Until next time.